Hi everyone, this is Becca from Becca's Music Room. I'm a music teacher who talks about teacher tips, teacher life, teacherpreneurs, and all things that might hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. Today we are going to talk about all the nitty-gritty stuff about how to actually make TPT products. As always, if you enjoyed this, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share so that other people can see it as well. I'm really excited about this video because it is definitely highly requested and something I've been asked about many times is like actually how to make TPT products, because I talk a lot about like the business side of things, but I have never talked about how to like actually do them. The reason I've been waiting is because honestly I didn't know how to do screen sharing stuff, and so I've been doing lots of research so that I can finally get this done for you, and hopefully it'll turn out. Otherwise I'll have this really awkward intro and nothing to go with it. So first of all, I just want to go over a few little basics that if you are new to creating your own resources, whether you plan to sell them or just use them in your classroom, that will be helpful, and then we'll dive into like an actual tutorial and I'll show you how to make some stuff. All right, so there's a couple really quick things that I want to make sure that you are aware of before we get to the nitty-gritty of what you're actually gonna do. Number one is use PowerPoint. So I have heard from so many TPT sellers, myself included, that the first time we went to make something, we like opened up a Word document and started typing, because when you're in high school and college, like that is what you do. That's not what you do in TPT world. So actually you go to PowerPoint, and the reason is because on PowerPoint, you can change things around and move things so that they are so much easier to like line things up, make things pretty. You know, on Word you have to like skip spaces and like indent and do all these funky things to try to get things the way you want them. On PowerPoint it is super easy because you can have multiple text boxes, you can add pictures, you can add shapes and all those things, and it's just so easy to navigate. I know some people also like to use Google Slides or other versions of like a PowerPoint type thing. I definitely prefer PowerPoint. I just find it to be the easiest because I don't have to be connected to the internet. Another thing is that I teach music, and so most of my products have music notation in them, and the way that I do that is I actually have like fonts that are music fonts. If you are interested in learning more about that, let me know in the comments down below and I can chit chat about that later. But just as in general, I use fonts for like my staff pitches or my rhythms, and I have not, as of now, as of, you know, August of 2019, found a way to upload my own fonts into Google Slides. And so that's the reason why I have not switched over to Google, is because I can't upload my own fonts. I've Googled it, I've researched it, I've tried to find a way, and I can't. If you know of a way, please let me know, because I would love to do that instead of taking my little thumb drive around. But this is what works best for me, is using PowerPoint, and what I've heard most people also use PowerPoint. Within PowerPoint, you can actually change the slide size, so you can make it a letter paper, which is what I do for almost all of my resources, depending on what it is. Occasionally I do like a PowerPoint, but most of the time they are just sheet of paper sizes, and that works the best. If you are on a Mac, the way to do that is you go to File and then Page Setup, and you can change it, and actually one of the and you can change it from there. One of the options will actually be letter paper, so you don't even have to type in your own dimensions. If you are on a PC, then you go to Design, and then it says Slide Size, and you click that one. You can also change in those same spots whether it is vertical or horizontal, so that you can change that depending on what you are making. The third thing you should know before we get started is that you can download digital paper, which is a fancy name for all the like pretty backgrounds that people use, borders, fonts, and all of those things from TPT. So you can actually go to Teachers Pay Teachers, type in clip art or digital paper or borders, and it will come up with all of these different ones. Like, people have entire stores devoted to making borders and clip art, which is wonderful, and you can download them and then you can use them on your things. If you are using it to sell them, you do need to make sure that you follow all their terms of use and include their little button and all those kind of things, so make sure you read through that page to see what they require. However, if you're doing it just for your classroom, then you can just be done right there. And that is the way that people make things really pretty on Teachers Pay Teachers. I will get more nitty-gritty into that in another video actually, so stay tuned. And the fourth thing is really simple. If you are doing pretty much anything, you want to save it as a PDF. Now, if you're just making it for your classroom, then you can get away with just leaving it as a PowerPoint for the most part. But I do find that it just makes life easier if you save things as a PDF. That way, if you send it to somebody, all the fonts will stay the same and nothing's gonna get wonky because this version of PowerPoint is different than this version of PowerPoint. And if you are selling it, you definitely need to save it as a PDF because that will allow you to actually give it to people without them being able to change everything. You do not want people to be able to get your stuff and then change it and potentially resell it or steal the clip art that you bought or anything like that. So save it as a PDF. All right, those are my super quick tips, and now we're gonna get into a little tutorial. So I hope you enjoy. If you have questions about how to make specific things, today's gonna be just like a simple worksheet, but if you are curious about anything else like flashcards or PowerPoints or anything, let me know your requests down below. Please let me know your requests down below and I will see if we can get to them. If you enjoy this, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and have a wonderful week.
Alright guys, so I have opened up a PowerPoint presentation and we're going to get started. It doesn't really matter what we make, we just kind of want to show you like the gist. So the very first thing that we need to do, I'm going to go with a worksheet, so it's going to need to be letter paper size. So on a Mac, how you fix that is that you go to File, Page Setup, and then click here and go down to letter paper, and then for most worksheets you want it to be up and down, although I do sometimes do it horizontally and then do half sheets. That works well as well. And then I always just go ahead and delete these because I like to make my own because those make them super funky. If you are on a PC, one of the tabs up here is going to say design, and then over on this side after you click design it'll say slide size and it'll pull up that same menu. Alright, so we all know TPT is really big on having things actually look decent. You don't just want it to be boring. So I'm gonna go, I have everything on my flash drive. Is that the best way to do it? Probably not, but that's what we're doing anyway. And I'm gonna come to borders. And again, it really doesn't matter. Let's see what looks like fun. Colorful bunting borders. We'll try that. And that one. So, side note, if I ever do anything in color, I always add a black and white version unless it just doesn't work in black and white for some reason. Alright, so we want text box. I always make it as big as the whole page. Centered, and then I'm going to scroll down to the fonts that I have installed. I have some of the KP fonts. I have this pack that I really like, but I'm going to come down to my Teach Us Third in Georgia fonts, these right here, because I really like them. They're fun and they're also free. My absolute favorite is the Cheerios, so we're going to go with that. And I teach music, so we're going to do a rhythm match. Alright. Always want the kids to have their name on it. Directions. And I'll add, you know, whatever. Match the rhythm with the word. Sounds great. Okay, so now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go 1, and let's go with, we're going to go with continents because I know I have some continent clip art that we can do. So we're going to do Africa, Australia, North America, South America, Antarctica, Asia, and what am I missing? Europe, sorry. That's embarrassing. Fix this because I can't spell. Put a little bit of space in there. So this same principle can work no matter what you are making. This is not actually something I am planning to post. I'm just new something. And you can just kind of play with the spacing is always a really big thing. When you're doing this. So now if you're doing something that requires more stuff, then you're going to want to add separate text boxes. So I'm going to do a separate text box over here. Go down to my music font. Africa. So that would be one thing I like about Macs as opposed to PCs is that you can copy the word boxes, the text boxes, and then adjust them. On a PC, if you go to copy them, then it will make it into like a picture, and you can't do it. Australia, we're gonna go with, I guess we're doing 2 beats for each one. So here we go. New one. I'm doing these all separately so I can move them around. North America. So we're gonna do. The only thing I really hate about this font is that it is always trying to turn my stuff into Russ. All right, and as always, you should really do this first, but I always forget. You always want to put a little trademark thing down in the bottom. I don't even know if that's the right word. I usually only do like size 8, EPECC. It just kind of depends on what it is and how big it is, and because I don't want it to be an intrusion. Okay, so here is a little rhythm match game. Now let's be honest, if I'm making a worksheet, I'm not going to use this much color and ink on a worksheet because that's ridiculous. So I'm going to duplicate the slide, get rid of this, and then we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we're going to go to digital paper, and I'm going to use free black and white ones. Looks fine. I can't ever quite tell what they are. It needs to be just a little bit bigger. And then we're going to send that to the back. Then obviously you can't see anything, so we're going to add a shape. This is kind of like a do-it-yourself border, and this is like my favorite thing to do. It's pretty close. I like there to be a black line around it. I just feel like that is helpful. And then make it white, and then you can see it's pretty much, now I have a border, but it's definitely a lot less, right? And then we're gonna send it backwards. Oh gosh, actually we're gonna send it to the back, and then we're gonna bring it forward one. There we go. And now this one had like the little flags on it, so I need to pull all of this up, which means I need to pull all of this up as well, which is super fun. Always something you gotta think about. Alright, so there we have it. We have a black and white version and also a colorful version. Again, for worksheets, this is definitely going to be the most popular version, but I wanted to show you just a couple different things in color so that you can see them pretty well. I hope you found this video really helpful. I have a couple of other things coming out, like PowerPoint tips and where to actually get all of this kind of stuff, so make sure you subscribe. If you found this video helpful, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share so other people can find it as well, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.